Live, where news comes first, from the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC-7 at 6.
Oh, we continue with that ABC-7 First Alert all the way through tonight. We have more rain. If you check out some of our numbers, pretty impressive right now because we have more coming. But if you look over at Deming, we're getting close to 4/10 of an inch of rain, about a quarter of an inch, a little more than that, out at the El Paso Airport, even up in the Las Cruces area. And we are tracking more rain. So you're going to be heading to the Friday night football games. Take along the rain gear because you're going to need it. Heavier bands of rain just off to the west and the southwest, but it's all heading in a northerly, northeasterly direction. So as I mentioned, we're going to talk about how much more rain we could see, how it looks for your weekend. All coming up.
And good evening, and thank you for joining us for ABC-7 at 6. I'm Estela Casas.
And I'm Eric Elkin. Capacity at the immigrant shelter in Tornillo has more than tripled in the past couple of months. Today, the Department of Health and Human Services allowed reporters to tour the facility.
ABC-7 reporters Julio Cesar Chavez and Saul Sainz took that tour. They are live in Tornillo. The temporary shelter is located at the Marcelino Serna Port of Entry in Tornillo. This is on the southeast part of El Paso County.
The children at the Tornillo detention camp for unaccompanied minors have structured schedules and schooling vastly different from the basics of this summer.
But it seems the same policy is meant to keep the children safe. We'll have more on that. Julio Cesar Chavez begins our complete coverage. He's live at the Marcelino Port of Entry.
Eric, Estela, now Health and Human Services have said that it is a variety of factors that goes into determining how long a child is in their custody, including how long it takes to find their family sponsor and how long it takes the FBI to clear them. Now, it does take a long time. One girl I spoke to inside the detention camp here in Tornillo, Texas, said that she has been in custody for nearly 4 months. One of those months here in the Tornillo detention camp and more than 2.5 months in Miami.
On average, children in our care for 59 days. Children are here at Tornillo for on average for 29 days.
Average does not mean the same for all. Children ABC-7 spoke with inside the camp said they had been in HHS custody from 1 month to nearly 4. Part of that is new HHS procedures that demand a fingerprint background check by the FBI, not just on the sponsor who tried to claim them, but the entire household.
2014, this program, again, with unintended consequence, released a number of children to human traffickers. And as a result of that tragic event, we learned a number of lessons, increased the standards.
Stringent background checks do lead to longer wait times in detention. The Tornillo camp incident commander said he thinks this is one of the biggest obstacles slowing down the flow of children out of the camp. Health and Human Services said the wait is worth it.
We want kids placed as quickly as possible with a suitable sponsor, but we don't want to make a mistake. And because we'll be back in that same place of, you're taking too long versus, oh, well, now you've released children to an unsafe.
Now, I do want to comment that the education procedures at the Tornillo detention camp have changed drastically since I last toured the facility this summer. Back in June, when the press were first allowed inside, the children were only given worksheets that had to be self-guided in basic subjects. Now BCFS, the nonprofit organization that is actually running this detention camp here in Tornillo, has gone out and hired teachers to come in and teach and lead large groups, not normal classroom settings, but they are larger groups, and they are at least working through structured lesson plans for a large variety of the students that are here, and they do teach in subjects like English, science, and mathematics. Reporting from Tornillo, Texas, Julio Cesar Chavez, ABC-7.
And the company contract is set to expire December 31st. And some surprising numbers for you now. The children are from Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Mexico.
Nearly 900 of those kids, more than half, are from Guatemala alone, and only 12 are from Mexico.
There are 3 main factors contributing to the current situation, according to HHS. One is that incredibly high numbers of unaccompanied and undocumented children crossing the border. Also, the president's zero-tolerance policy, which separated immigrant families at the border.
There's also the vetting process designed to protect children as they're being released to sponsors, because the agency got into trouble when it released kids to criminals in 2014. Since then, Health and Human Services added fingerprinting and more checks, which adds 5 to 10 days to the process.
The Tornillo detention facility from a bird's eye view. There are 3 large white tents. One of those tents houses all the girls.
And it's on the other side of the small beige tents where the boys are housed. ABC-7 Saul Sainz spoke to some of the girls housed there. Saul.
Hey, Eric and Estela, officials here at the Tornillo facility tell me that the level of education for the teenagers housed here is between 2nd grade and 5th grade. Unlike the boys who say they come to the U.S. to find work to send money back to their families, the girls want a better shot at an education opportunity. 20% of the population at the Tornillo facility are teenage girls. They are all housed together inside a large white tent, and the girls say they prefer it that way. In fact, they've gone to great lengths to decorate it. One girl told me she left Guatemala to be with her parents, who are already in the U.S., Denver, Colorado specifically. The cafeteria inside the white tent was converted into a makeshift classroom, and all the girls were learning math as well as English. I sat with a group of girls and asked them how they felt about taking classes while waiting to hear if they'd be reunited with their family members. One girl told me, quote, "This is what we want and what we need. I had to drop out of school to help my family because we're so poor. We don't have these resources." Other girls agreed, so I asked them what profession they would seek if they had an education. Policeman, doctor, psychiatrist, 3 girls answered. I asked them if they prefer to be separated from the boys, and only 1 girl said no. Many of the girls have been in this facility for more than 20 days. The average stay is 29 days before they're reunited with families or go to a sponsor family. But officials say they have not had any new intakes in several days. Health and Human Services officials say this facility is open because there is a need to care for unaccompanied children. But they admit they don't know how long this facility will remain open.
And the government will make a decision about when we close Tornillo or expand Tornillo, and that decision is based on need.
Eric and Estela, one final word out of Tornillo. I'm going to show you a video, and you may recall this moment. We were doing a previous story out here in Tornillo several weeks back, and I was actually caught in the middle of a sandstorm. Officials here at the Tornillo detention facility tell me that they used the security cameras to zoom in on me to watch me as I was being pounded by that sandstorm. Well, that brought up actually a great question. I asked them about the endurance of these soft-sided tents and just how much they can withstand, and they tell me that those tents that you see in there, both the beige ones and the white ones, can sustain 75-mile-per-hour winds. Reporting live in Tornillo, right outside the detention facility, Saul Sainz, ABC-7.
And it's also raining out there. Saul and Julio Cesar Chavez, thank you very much. And we do want to mention that the video from inside the facility was provided by Health and Human Services. And our coverage continues over at KVIA.com. You can read the fact sheet released by HHS today. You can also view those exclusive aerial pictures of the facility. Plus, you can read and watch our previous coverage of the Tornillo facility. Eric.
All right, thank you, Estela. El Paso police continue to investigate a deadly officer-involved shooting outside the Pebble Hills Regional Command Center. This is video we obtained of the man who was shot, 76-year-old Richard Palafox. Here he is talking to then mayoral candidate David Cicero. Police say 3 officers opened fire, killing Palafox, who was armed. We've reached out to police, but at this point, police are not releasing any more information.
2, 3. Thank you, officers!
And Wednesday's officer-involved shooting at the Pebble Hills Regional Command Center was a scary moment not only for El Paso police, but also for people at a daycare right across the street. And today, some kids from the Bright Minds daycare went to the police substation to thank officers for their quick work to keep them safe. Kids took turns drawing thank you cards for officers, and they also got some gifts from the El Paso Police Department.
Eric, several protesters gathered today to speak up against a new Planned Parenthood clinic that's expected to open in El Paso later this month. The protest was organized by the Southwest Coalition for Life. The group claims that Planned Parenthood causes loss of local business commerce and declining property values due to public sentiment. Planned Parenthood of Greater Texas says the clinic will have a licensing to perform abortions by December.
It's a woman's choice, but there's women in the womb and they don't have a choice. And we have facilities here like Guiding Star of El Paso that provides services that women truly need that are for the whole woman.
The clinic is expected to also provide services like breast exams and cervical cancer screenings, birth control and HIV testing. Pro-choice, pro-life is a topic of ABC 7 Extra this Sunday night at 10:35. We hope you can join us. A mountain lion, possibly on the loose. It was spotted near the zoo, prompting officials to close for the day. A zoo security guard says he spotted the mountain lion around 6 o'clock this morning. Texas Parks and Wildlife assisted police in looking for the animal. After 5 hours, a big cat was nowhere to be found. Captain Ray Spears says it's uncommon to see mountain lions in the area, and it's possible it could have already slipped through zoo property and back into the mountains. Spears says he doesn't want the public to be alarmed, but to remain vigilant. The zoo will reopen tomorrow.
All right, let's get back to storm track weather. That ABC-7 first alert remains in effect. Today's rain showers forced Big Bounce America to close the world's largest bouncy house, which is set up in northeast El Paso. The 10,000 square foot, 32-foot tall house is at Suyung Park. With the rain expected to move on early tomorrow, the bouncy house will be open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. Now, Chief Meteorologist Doppler Dave Spielman joins us live once again. Doppler.
Yeah, the weather's going to be much better tomorrow and into Sunday. But, boy, this has been a nice rain so far. We like the light to moderate showers, let it gradually soak in the ground. We don't want anything real heavy. But we're going to see more moderate, maybe in a few isolated heavier spots of rain coming our way. But in the meantime, here is a look at your neighborhood weather.net sites. We're right around 1/4 of an inch, a little bit more right here at ABC-7 Studios, and Putnam getting right around 1/3 of an inch of rainfall, and we have more on the way. In fact, here's a look at Doppler radar estimates. So the rain is spreading across a good portion of the area, and as we zoom in a little bit more, you can see where we're seeing some of those bands of rain, more moderate rainfall making its way towards the northeast. So going to be a soggy Friday night football forecast for you. We'll talk about the weekend and potentially how much more rain we could see coming up after the break.
During a house fire, things can get very confusing very quickly. So knowing the right thing to do in that situation can be the difference between life and death.
This week is Fire Prevention Week, and ABC-7's Christina Aguayo joined us live with some safety information you should know in a story you'll see only on ABC-7.
Did you know that if a fire starts in your home, you may only have a couple of minutes to escape? That's why the El Paso Fire Department says that knowing what to do in the case of a fire could save your life. When it comes to staying alive, there are 3 things you need to do.
They look, listen, and learn.
Look for fire hazards in your home.
You're looking for any potential hazards. Number one, especially this time of year when people start turning on their heaters, if they're using any space heaters, the space heaters are kept at least 3 feet away from any other items that might be combustible.
Listen for the smoke detector and learn what to do when there is a fire. Wyatt told me to have an escape plan. And remember, when you hear that fire alarm, fall to the floor and crawl to the door. Before you open that door, feel the door with the back of your hand to make sure it's cold, and turn on the light. Because when you open that door, you need to check for smoke. Then stay low, crawl away from the fire, and close the door behind you. When you close that door, you buy yourself about 15 to 20 minutes to be able to get to a window and get out. And once you get out of the house, go to your designated meeting space. And never go back inside. Wait for the fire department.
We have the equipment, we have the protection, we most definitely have the extinguishing agents we need in order to get to that person and rescue them or evacuate them.
Wyatt told me that you need to know 2 ways to get out of every room in your house, and remember, always close the door to your bedroom when you sleep. For more fire safety tips, find the story on our website, KVIA.com.
Some good advice. I'm going to have to come up with a plan.
Absolutely.
If you don't have a smoke detector, you can call 311. The fire department will come out to your home and install 2 smoke detectors free of charge.
Another live look at the city tonight from the ABC-7 Mountain Cam. You can see not much at all this evening. We've been seeing a lot of rain throughout the day. Doppler Dave is tracking what's next.
Well, we'll show you what we're seeing out there with Doppler radar in just a moment. But in the meantime, a soggy football forecast for tonight. Should be interesting to see all the highlights with the Borderland Blitz. But look at these temperatures in the 60s, rain chances. Rain's going to get heavier as we head throughout tonight. I'll show you on Doppler radar. Heavy forecast coming up. Well, if you're going to be heading out tonight, I know it's Friday night. A lot of you folks are going to be going to a movie, out to eat, and, of course, the Friday night football games. You want to take a raincoat like this, preferably if it has a hood, because we're going to get some rain and it'll make it feel a little bit colder out there. Some of the stadiums don't allow umbrellas, so you need to check in with that, and certainly the ponchos if you got that, because it is going to be a wet, sloppy night tonight. Check out Tom Lee Elementary School. Here's a look at our time-lapse camera, and we're looking out to the west, Franklin Mountains. You see all the clouds and the rain that we had this morning. It's going to continue across parts of town. In fact, got a little bit of a radar echo right here where we're losing some of the rain. So we are seeing some rain here, just the radar's not picking it up, but you could see that we are tracking some heavier bands of rain where you see some of the darker shades of green. That's the more moderate rainfall. You go from Tornillo down to Fabens, right along Interstate 10 into Sierra Blanca. There's some pretty good rain that is coming down at the moment. So the rainfall totals at our various WeatherNet sites beginning to go up across the area. There's a closer look at some of the rain. Again, right along Interstate 10, Socorro, down to the lower valley. This is some good rain making its way slowly towards the northeast. There's a closer look, heavier pockets. You get around Horizon City, Agua Dulce as well, and Socorro, all the way down to Clinton, San Oli. Some good rains occurring there, and then farther up towards the north, say from Canutillo to Anthony, Texas, Anthony, New Mexico, Vado, up along Interstate 10, also picking up some rainfall. Chaparral, you've been getting some rain. At least Michelle over there reported about 0.2 of an inch, but you're going to get some more tonight as well. Look it up in Las Cruces, Doña County, down to Mesquite and Vado. This is some good rain. Heaviest activity is just off to the west of you folks, where the heavier rain is occurring. Get around Columbus, Luna County, between Deming and Columbus, even farther down towards the south in Chihuahua. Again, all this is going to continue to track through the area. I would say right around midnight or so is when the rain should come to an end. We may see a little spillover into the early morning hours, but it will be a soggy start to the morning, likely to see some fog tomorrow morning too, so watch out for that if you do have some morning plans. All right, so here is a look at our future track rainfall model, and it's projecting potentially how much we could see by midnight. Take a look at the numbers. This is in addition to what we've had so far, about 1/3 of an inch more. Then you get into Sierra Blanca and Van Horn, over 1/2 inch of rain, 3/4 of an inch. Alamogordo, about 13/100 of an inch of rainfall out there. So this has been a good rain, and we'll certainly appreciate that as we make our way throughout the rest of fall. So 30% chance of rain between, say, midnight and 2 a.m. Slight chance Sunday and Monday, and then the rain chances go up just a bit. Look here, by Tuesday, a 30% chance, 20% on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday, a 10% chance for some showers. Chalk the block, not too bad for tomorrow and Sunday. We'll have 75 on your Saturday, 74 on Sunday. More sunshine expected for your Sunday. Then the cold front, get ready for another big change. Going to produce some winds and some much colder air. We're 59 in Las Cruces, 61 out at the airport, 57 in Alamogordo. 59 overnight tonight, tomorrow. Look at that, 75, chance of rain very early in the morning. That should be about it. Clouds most of the day, but by the afternoon we may break out with some sunshine. 53 Las Cruces, 72 will be your high temp. Watch over the next several days. Not bad in the 70s, and then here comes that front. Going to put a big chill around town. 55 degrees. The winds will be blowing, making it feel perhaps like temperatures in the upper 40s. And then 40s to start off the morning, Monday, Tuesday, and even into your Wednesday. Well, the rain didn't get in the way of today's cross-country district meet. Let's look ahead to the Borderland Blitz tonight. Sports is next.
And welcome back there. I am Trevor Thompson, my friends. When the weather is like this, typically I skip my morning run. Come to think of it, I actually skip it every day. But we have some elite athletes who do not. District cross-country meet was this morning. Here we see the start of the 1-6A girls race. Franklin would go on to claim that title. Fans, of course, you know, they were decked out in their rain gear. I actually spoke to a few runners about the conditions, and some said they actually liked the weather. More on that in a second. By the way, if you want to see a full list of all team and individual winners, you can find that at kvia.com/sports. Congrats to all winners and all regional qualifiers. As for that rain, the runners say it was a nice change.
Last year it was really hot. We actually had 2 guys have to go to the hospital last year because they just got too hot. This year it was nice and cool. I mean, it wasn't raining too bad for us.
We've been prepared. We've had a lot of races in the rain, but it feels great that we got to run in the rain. It takes your mind off the pain. I'm so proud of us. We've been working hard this entire season, and I'm glad that it's finally paying off.
And Jefferson High School is home again tonight against Burgess, and that gives us yet another chance to see one of our favorite new traditions. We first brought you the Wave of Love 2 weeks ago on the Borderland Blitz. The players and fans waving to the kids at El Paso Children's Hospital at the end of the first quarter. It was actually a tradition started by the Iowa Hawkeyes, and we cannot wait to see it again tonight. Also, can't wait for our game of the week on the Blitz at 10:35. The Franklin Cougars are 3-2 on the season. So are the America's Trailblazers. Those two sides will tango over at Franklin this evening. First district game for both teams, so plenty at stake. Well, tonight you could win a $25 Visa gift card. All you got to do is send us your photos from a high school football game. Makes it worthwhile to go out in the rain. Look for the Blitz Picks icon at KVIA.com. Submit your picks by 10:50 every Friday night. One lucky winner will be selected by a computer. You know, last week we were covering the Red River rivalry. Since we were over in that area, we decided to stop by a game in the Metroplex. Skyline hosting Duncanville. Duncanville showing why they're one of the top teams in the state on that touchdown right there. They went on to win 63-6. Football doesn't get any better than that, right?
No, not that I've seen. I've worked in Washington, D.C. I've worked in Louisiana. There's talent everywhere, but the commitment to developing quality teams and quality programs can't match Texas.
All right, so UTEP football is off this weekend. NMSU is at Louisiana, formerly, and I guess sometimes still, known as Louisiana Lafayette. Aggies' offense was absolutely fantastic last week when they put up 49 against Liberty, but NMSU worries that they might need to be even sharper if they're going to take down the Raging Cajuns.
Defense has done that the previous 2 weeks, but offensively we took a giant step forward this week. So it's just about getting better from game to game. We've got to be better this coming week than we were last week against Liberty if we're going to have a chance to win this one.
That is your look at sports and our show. See you back at 10 o'clock tonight and 10:35 for the Borderland Blitz. Have a great night.